Hi and good morning. I hope you can hear me. It's quite some wind today. So let's see if this works. So again, if you've been watching my last video, I have predicted that Bitcoin will still go down to fill the CME gap. And we're speaking today and Bitcoin is around 106,000. If it would be 1,000, it would be quite dramatically, but it's around 106,000. So it has fully filled and dropped much lower than to the 111, 110 CME gap yesterday already. But the price fell actually more. Why did that happen? Because we had the Fed, Jerome Powell came out to speak, and this was actually mixed. It was a little more negative because the 25 basis point rate cut was already priced in by the market. So we got this 25 basis cut, 25 pips. So they will reduce the interest rate. But then in one of his speeches later on, he said, it is not at all guaranteed that they will also cut rates in December. It looks to me like Paul now wants to put pressure on Trump to actually agree what the Democrats want to release or reopen the government. What I mean by that is that at the moment they have a very unclear situation, meaning that the government is still closed. And if the government is still closed, Paul said that he doesn't have all the necessary data he needs to actually calculate or reduce rates even more, because, yeah, it is, for him, he said, not possible to do that. And let's see how that works out. So at the moment, it seems the Democrats are still blocking the reopening of the government. And what I have heard, it is very strange or very unnecessary. Just a second. It is quite strange laws they want to push through, meaning it's about giving immigrants a lot of money and stuff like that. So what happened basically is that the markets are getting a little worried now because Paul said that they're maybe not cutting interest rates. Another very positive thing that happened is that they actually agreed to basically stop the quantitative tightening. So they will again in December stop the tightening, meaning all the money that the Fed usually was taking out of the money through quantitative tightening, they are now putting back into the markets again. And this should be a very positive sign for the markets. So all is good on this side. We will see how this gonna work out. What else we have? So this caused a lot of markets to drop. And the question is again, what about the cycle now? What about the bull market for crypto? Is this now still intact? Will we still see a very good bull market all season, or what can we expect actually to happen? So I have, let's say, 2 or 3 cases why we should actually see quite a good rising bull market. So one of them is that we look at the gold price, and if we look at the historical numbers of how gold actually developed over the past, you can clearly see that all the time when gold bottomed out and corrected, Bitcoin needed, I think it's around 90 days to pick up or get behind gold. And you know that gold was the main performer in this cycle. So it is very likely that Bitcoin also going to pick up after gold. Then, over the latest years, Bitcoin was always very tightly connected, correlated to the Nasdaq. And also the Nasdaq has performed better than Bitcoin over the latest period. So this is also a sign that it should pick up. Still, we have the M2 money supply. We have countries like Germany, the Europeans, everybody is starting to lower the rates, put money into the market. So global liquidity is also picking up. Should mean that we're going to see more and more liquidity and more people also fleeing into safe haven assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. The fundamental thing that you should understand is that basically what's happening now is called a debasement trade. What does it mean? It means that big investors, the national banks, big players understand that this is a game where actually not mainly the dollar, but all fiat, all paper currencies are getting heavily devalued. So they need to find a different asset to store their wealth. If you take the real inflation rate over the years and you compare it with the S&P, it actually turns out that you're not losing any money if you're holding the S&P. So it is covering the inflation, but you're also not gaining any money. So it is not easy to find an asset. Also, if you have been a gold holder for, let's say, 20, 25, 30 years, I'm not sure if you have actually more than covered your inflation. Yes, gold has rallied, I think this year, 60% or something like this. But before, it was actually not performing too well. So why should you put your money into this stable asset? I'm talking about gold, silver, or Bitcoin, or both, or all of them would be best. Because this debasement trade is accelerating now. The US is now actually gaining 1 trillion, I think, every 3 months. And the other countries are actually doing quite the same. So this is not stopping anytime. So you have to understand that because this is going to accelerate, you have to find a way to protect yourself. And I don't see any other assets that you can do that with. You may say, okay, yes, I can buy real estate and I can, I don't know, put it into my company. But this is all true. We should understand where the world is going to. Meaning, if you are aware that also governments are starting to go after the people that have money. Just the recent example is that California is now trying to implement a law for a one-time payment that will take away, I think, 5% of every billionaire. And stuff like this is coming. In New York, they want to implement socialism again. So all this crazy stuff that is not working at all. European countries have already tried to have a wealth tax. They have seen massive outflows of people. The UK now, when they changed the tax regime, millions of people with money left in the country. So, and if you look at the statistics, if you look at actually what happens, of course, then actually you're reducing your tax income. You're not actually accelerating it. All people are leaving. It simply doesn't work to redistribute money to people where the people who don't do anything or too lazy to move their ass around are getting money from people that have really put in a lot of effort. Yes, there are also exceptions. I understand. It can't work like this. For real estate, so let's imagine you have a house wherever it is, and then the government can come from one day to the other and say, oh, well, let's raise property tax now to 15%. Or you just look at some examples. In the US, it has developed already in a way that the property tax that you pay is in some regions so high that I don't understand anymore why you would actually buy a house there. Because you buy the house, but then basically through the property tax, you pay rent to the government, right? Then in states like Florida, it's almost impossible to get a hurricane insurance for some areas. So, and if you can get one again, this adds and adds and adds. So let's say then you want to leave, you have enough because you have enough of your government. So what's going to happen to your real estate? If this is in a time where everybody wants to leave, what will be the value of your real estate? You're going to leave it behind. Good luck if you come back, how it will look like in some countries like Spain. You will probably be very unlucky and somebody else will live in your house and you will never get them out. So that was the real estate thing compared to gold, silver, or Bitcoin, right? And then you can say, okay, I reinvested or invested into my business. Yes, I think this is a good idea, but be very sure you are in the right kind of business and be sure that you're getting the adoption, meaning that you understand that now you have to go into AI, you have to modify your business with AI. You need to look into robotics, AI. You need to have a look. Is your company actually future proven or can you make it like that? If you have been following Elon Musk, you probably will know that he now is establishing a company called MicroHeart. Very funny because it's a direct competitor to Microsoft. And he is developing AI that is actually going after all SaaS products. So with AI now, a lot of SaaS companies will get massive problems. So you need to understand if you're providing a software, it is now very easy for a lot of people, even if you're not a developer, to get into the industry and also use vibe coding to actually replicate your application. So you need to think into the future. So I would suggest to do all of these things. You heavily get into AI. You look a little into robotics. You do vibe coding. You get the assets that are stable, like get physical gold, physical silver, and get Bitcoin. And if you say, okay, I'm employed, this is also fine. Now, if you are getting into vibe coding, you can establish yourself in a very different way in the company because you're probably the only one in your company. That makes you the top 1% in the next years, the top 1% which will actually be able to benefit from everything that is coming, and everybody will come to you to help them to build out certain tools or ask you for it. So keep that in mind. So even if you are employed, this is a very good opportunity for you. I also want to again reconnect with what I said in my last video about the payment rails that Coinbase actually is establishing. Meaning that we have been talking in my last video that Coinbase is now making a payment layer, or actually providing a platform that is enabling AI agents to pay. And I didn't fully understand it last time, but I have looked into it a little deeper. So it is actually bigger than I was thinking. So basically, it is when they actually developed or implemented or came up with the idea of HTTP. So the protocol that you're using in your browser that is submitting data. Back then, they also implemented a way to pay actually in the browser. So what is happening now is that we will see very soon that the website can actually request a payment, and then the website will release the data on to an agent or also to a human. So how this is gonna work is, as soon these AI agents that are powered with, or they are equipped with a crypto wallet, and they can use, at least in the beginning, the Coinbase application, a Coinbase wallet or whatever it is, because then they all have the same payment, right? They all understand each other, and they all are basically able in paying in the same currency with the same, I don't know exactly how it works, but so the agent will basically go to a website. The website will, via this HTTP, I don't know what's called, X something, request a payment from the agent or from you as user. And then the agent basically can do the payment if you have allowed it to him. It will probably be in a way that you can allow transactions, you can allow amounts, and so on, right? So the agent will be able to go there and pay, and the content will be free. And you can use this not just for content, you can use this for everything. You can use this for an API. Let's say the bot can just go to whatever, Coinbase, CoinGecko, request the latest data, the weekly update or the daily update, and then it can use this in its application. It can also go to paywall, like a regular paywall, New York Times or wherever, can pay via crypto to the bot I'm talking now, right? Can pay via crypto, and then basically take this data and do whatever with this data. So it is very interesting what you can actually do now with this. So keep this in mind. This you need to watch, and this could be that we see now virtuals and other AI agents are coming up again, right? One more thing I want to talk about is robotics. And we can combine all these things because, as you see now, the basically payment, if the payment can be connected to the AI, but also the AI can be connected to the robots, this is actually the whole picture. So you can see a Tesla car also as a robot. Just imagine the Tesla car now seen is as robot. The Tesla car has got artificial intelligence, and he will have a wallet. So he will be able to drive alone. So the future will be that you can own a car, but if you own a car and you don't use it yourself, you can let it work for you. So let's say it drives your children to school, and then the car has got some time, let's say 5 hours, to make some money in between, and will work like an Uber. So people will just order it, but the car will itself, without a driver, pick up this person and drive it to the location. The payment will probably be by crypto, and if the car needs to charge, the car will drive to a charging station, and basically the car using the AI and the AI using the crypto payment, this is how it will charge, and this is how you don't need to interfere at all. So it will be able to make money for you. So you will be able to buy certain robots, rent certain robots, and make money with it. This will be very interesting. Speaking about robots, you have probably seen yesterday the announcement came out that you can now buy this first home robot calling Neo. It is developed in California. I've watched quite some videos about it already some months ago. This is a very soft robot, soft looking robot. It looks like it has a pullover everywhere. So it's a very soft robot. It's a human robot. It's quite small. I don't know what it is, but it's like this. And you can use it at the moment. So they claim, or I will explain it in more detail. So the robot this purpose is basically he can, bring you some stuff, open the door, put the dishes in the dishwasher, hang up your clothes, tidy up, hoover, and stuff like that. So there's videos around the internet what the robot can do. And the thing is that most of the videos they show, but they're not telling you basically that the robot can do this all themselves. How it works is for most of the tasks, they need an operator. And this means is an operator that the operator has got access to the cameras of the robot, so to the eyes, and also sometimes to the microphone or to the speakers so he can hear as well. And then the operator has got a VR headset. And with his VR headset, he will basically go and all the body is connected from the operator. And he will actually show the robot how to do the things. So this Neo robot will actually imitate what the other guy, the operator, is doing. The operator is remote. So the operator is, for example, the operator will be, for example, I don't know where he will be, in an office in Silicon Valley somewhere. So you would call the operator and you say, my robot should actually take away the dishes or tidy up this and that. And then basically the operator will do it. So he will show the robot how to do it because he sees everything and the operator knows how to do it, and he will do it and train the robot. This, of course, is quite disturbing for privacy, meaning that the company, the Neo, is saying that they are actually blurring out faces and try not to interfere with the privacy of the people too much. It probably will be quite difficult. So if you buy a robot like this at the moment, you can pre-order it now and it will be delivered somewhere in 2026. You have to pay down $200 now. If you pay the robot in full, it costs you $20,000. If you want to rent it per month, it's around $500 per month. So it's quite interesting. But the critique that a lot of people have is that actually the robot can't do almost anything by himself. He can open the door, and I don't know, 2 or 3 other tasks that he can do without that operator is working on it. So basically, if you don't have the operator package, or if you don't also pay for the operator, then it will be very difficult to use this bot. But it should be in a way that if you pay the operator to do a task, so help the bot to put in the dishes into the dishwashers or whatever. So the next time he should be able to do it himself. Maybe there will also be a way, I think this would be much better, that you can just connect to your robot yourself. So maybe you have VR glasses and they just develop a software, you have some sensors. This would be great because then you're also not violating or getting any problems with the privacy. So you could train your robot yourself, right? So you could basically show him how he should actually do the things. This would be quite interesting. And we're talking about this in this crypto walk and talk because also this robot will be connected to, of course, he has got AI. So they're running on OpenAI, I think, at the moment. And yes, it will also have payments. So later on, you can send this robot probably wherever, and later on, you could also tell him instead of the AI, you can just tell your robot, and the robot will do everything, also booking your flights or whatever. You know what I mean? And maybe there's multiple robots. This is also possible that you have like 2 or 3 robots. One is in the household, one is, I don't know, able to do all the fixing that is necessary and so on. So I hope that was useful. It's starting to rain now, so we will probably continue tomorrow. Take care. See you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.